health crisis. I didn't feel like myself anymore. My body and sense of identity felt disconnected. I felt fatigued and overwhelmed. The whole healthcare process had left me feeling dehumanized. I needed just a few simple things to get me grounded, start to unwind and begin to reconnect with myself and my body. Well-meaning suggestions felt like pressure, not that helpful. So I began to experiment, and eventually I found a few small, gentle habits that helped me feel human again. They weren't huge overhauls. They were just simple, quiet, manageable shifts that met me where I was. These 7 self-care habits helped me feel human again after everything I had gone through. And I want to share them with you because sometimes the tiniest adjustments are what spark the biggest healing. Perhaps some of these suggestions will resonate and some will not. Or you may need something different entirely. I hope this inspires you to find and adapt into your routine what will help you reconnect and feel human again. First things first, breathing. This became my anchor when nothing else felt steady. After treatment, I lived in a state of hypervigilance. I was always bracing for bad news or another side effect or for the next shoe to drop. While not uncommon after trauma or long-term illness, it doesn't have to be a permanent resident. The nervous system stays stuck in an on mode when exposed to significant trauma. And until we begin to remind it how to shift down, becoming mindful of my breath started that shift for my nervous system. It started to shift it towards calm. There are many different breathing practices, and I'll share just one of my go-to practices, and that's box breathing. You inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. It's simple but powerful breathwork technique that's used to help regulate the nervous system and bring the body into a more calm, grounded state. Box breathing is used by pretty much everyone from therapists to trauma-informed yoga to even Navy SEALs because it works. Even if I had just a couple minutes, that small amount of box breathing works to reset and reconnect myself to my body and where I'm at in the present moment. I even got a tattoo that says each breath because focusing on one breath at a time became so essential for me, and it remains an integral part of keeping me connected and present. If box breathing doesn't feel right, start with one deep breath, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let the exhale feel much slower and longer than the inhale. That alone can shift your state. Second, saying no. This one felt uncomfortable at first, especially for this recovering people pleaser. But post-treatment, I realized I simply had to manage my energy differently. I was drained, not just physically, but emotionally and energetically. The thing is, if I wasn't focusing on my own self-care, I was slowing down my healing process. So I began asking myself a question before agreeing to anything. Is this going to contribute to my healing and recovery, or is it going to distract from it? Learning to set self-care boundaries wasn't easy, but I discovered boundaries aren't walls. They connect us to what really matters and protect our path back to healing. And honestly, saying no gave me room to start saying yes to myself. If you think about it, every no contains a yes, and every yes, a no. The third thing is resting without guilt. This one has taken me time to embrace. In a society that glorifies productivity and hustle, rest can feel like a guilty indulgence, and so many of us feel undeserving. After surgeries, chemo, and months of survival mode, my healing required real recovery, not just from illness, but from depletion. It's a vital part of recovery. And yes, we are worthy. You are worthy. Rest for me looked different day to day. Sometimes it was a nap. Sometimes it was watching clouds while lying on the couch from outside the window or just laying on the grass. Sometimes it was turning off my phone and being still. Over time, I stopped hearing that voice that whispered, "You're lazy." And sometimes it wasn't a whisper. And I started hearing the one that says, "You are healing," because that is the truth. This shift towards deep, intentional rest became one of my most powerful forms of self-care. The fourth is gentle movement. I really wasn't ready for workouts, and my doctors advised against pushing too hard, even though I wanted to. I remember feeling so frustrated and feeling like I was missing out watching fitness influencers, blah, 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 talk about getting strong when I could barely walk around the block. So I started where I was with yin yoga. It's slow, supportive, and it met me right where I was at. You hold poses for much longer, maybe even up to 3 to 4 minutes, and it focuses on fascia release, deep stretching, and deep presence. It's definitely not about the burn, it's about the breath. Yin yoga is a beautiful practice that helped me feel safe in my body again. Even just lying on the floor with a bolster under my back, opening up my heart space, that was enough to make me realize how much it had collapsed physically and emotionally. Gentle movement reminded me my body is still mine, and she doesn't need to perform. She needs to be loved. The fifth is laughter. Laughter really is medicine. Yes, that helped big time. Laughter actually lowers cortisol, increases endorphins, and especially when shared with another, it increases oxytocin. It's a natural way to shift your emotional state and support your mental health in the healing process. Laughter is free, except from maybe sore abs, and it has no side effects. And if laughter isn't available because of whatever you're going through medically, smiling is a good backup. I started incorporating humor as a part of my daily healing routine. Sometimes that meant visiting the Dry Bar Comedy Channel, finding funny shows on Netflix, even if that meant watching reruns of Friends and MASH, because MASH, I'm old school. Sometimes it was silly animal videos or just jokes online. It might sound small, but laughter releases tension, and it gave me so much joy when I needed it most. My bestie told me to stop impersonating a flamingo. I had to put my foot down. I'm so sorry for that one. No, I'm not sorry. The sixth is being in nature. Not hiking, not conquering mountains, at least not yet, just being. I found healing at the ocean, especially. The rhythm of the waves mirrored the rhythms I was trying to relearn. Breathing in, letting go. I also spent time at a local meditation center. Silent meals, mindful walking, stillness with strangers. It sounds simple, but those sacred pauses really helped me feel connected. Studies show that being in nature reduces inflammation, lowers cortisol, and improves mood. It's not just woo, it's wired into us. Nature so freely offers healing. The air you breathe at the ocean or the forest, bare feet on the soft forest floor or the sand, the sounds of the waves, the leaves swaying in the breeze, the birds singing their poetry. This kind of healing in nature it's unlike anything I found in a clinic. The seventh is nourishing my body with kindness. At first, I felt desperate to get my energy back, to feel well and strong again. I felt so out of control, and controlling what I ate felt like a way of getting my power back and regaining power over my life. While yes, feeding your body in a nutrient-dense way is extremely important, it's also just as important to nourish your whole being with kindness. Healing isn't something to be rushed. What helped the most was slowing down, leaning into listening to my body, and choosing foods from a place of care, not control. Some days that looked like warm soup, and sometimes that was toast with avocado and tea, but the real transformation was in my approach. What would feel kind right now became my new food philosophy. That one question leveled up my healing game. Now, I'll ask you, how will you discover what self-care will level up your healing? Here are 3 bonus journal prompts if you want to explore more. I would love to hear what you discover. 1, what does taking care of myself really mean to me now that I have changed since my health crisis? 2, when I listen to my body, what is it asking for, really asking for? 3, what small nourishing habit helps me feel the most like me again? And how can I honor that more consistently in my life? If these habits spoke to you, even just one, I'd love for you to subscribe. I'm creating more content for women rebuilding after a healing crisis, including holistic self-care, practical tools, mindset shifts, and real talk about healing. If you'd like a free self-reflection tool to help you reconnect with all aspects of health and give you an idea of what to prioritize for yourself, download my free Radiant Wellness Wheel at my website, redefineyourradiance.com. It's gentle, it's a visual check-in that many of my clients have found incredibly insightful. Thank you so much for watching. And before you go, tell me in the comments, which habit has helped you feel more like yourself, more human again? Or is there one that you want to try this week? You deserve support. And that means support exactly where you are at right now. And you are not alone.